Up until this point, I played a Whirlwind Barbarian. Somebody suggested for me to switch over to Hammer of the Ancients, and I haven't looked back since. You can make a more or less defensive version. You can focus on high crit damage, or you can focus more so on survival. Some people like to use Flay as their basic skill for pushing high nightmare dungeons or for Uber Lilith, but I like to use Lunging Strike simply because it's just better for high crit damage. Also for treasure goblins and mobility and things of that nature. If you want to push higher tier nightmare dungeons with this character, you're going to want to pump up your armor a lot higher and get your life as high as you can possibly get it as well. You're also going to want to focus your aspects on more defensive things. Probably not going to want to use temerity. That's just good for getting your crit damage up a little bit more. This one's more for farming like 40s and 50 tier nightmare dungeons and just getting those big satisfying damage numbers. You can really tailor fit it to the particular content that you're playing at the time. If I can find some monsters to kill. So you definitely want to hit off to the side of the monsters. And I think one of the most important things, obviously, aside from like crit damage and vulnerable damage, is this mortal draw glyph. Because when you swap from your basic skill to the other, I don't have enough maximum fury on my gear. I need a bold chieftain ring. I've been looking for one for about a day and a half. That's honestly the biggest thing, more so than getting gold to respec your character, is if you don't have a certain aspect, then you're gonna have to really farm to get that aspect again. So there's a couple aspects that I could really optimize, but you can do as much as 70 million plus damage with this character. That said, the Barbarian's probably the weakest character in the game right now, as funny as that is. A lot of the early game nerfs, like the things such as Edge Masters, really lowered its damage potential. Considering especially it's a melee class, you have to be right in there, and you really suffer from crowd control. Even with maxed out quick impulses and control reduction on gear, you're still going to be kind of hindered by crowd control. You're going to really have to have massive defense, massive health pool. You can have a less defensive version of this Barbarian, less defensive than mine, and mine's pretty glass tanky, honestly. You can have a pretty strong one that hits even harder. Look how much this hits. I wish this video would show in a higher resolution right here. Look at that, 67 million. And I think some people have hit for like 70 million and stuff. So Hammer of the Ancients is definitely probably the strongest barb build. His build right here can't push like super high nightmare dungeons and stuff, but for farming lower tier ones and for leveling up and stuff, I mean, that's satisfying as hell. I think my highest one was like 35 or something like that, so it's a big difference. That was on the more glass cannon side of things. On this side we have Alkaiser using Flay, and he's doing pretty decent damage, as you can see. Really good damage actually, but nowhere near 67 million. But I mean, a lot of these little things that Alkaiser is able to take damage from, all of those things would be one-shot death on that 67 million build. So it depends on what you're trying to do in the content. Everything's all about intention. You're not more likely to get a Shaco to drop right here, so that other build might be better for farming Champion's Demise if you think, you know, you're super lucky and gonna get a Shaco. But I mean, at that case, you should probably go buy a lottery ticket and also get checked for cancer as well. Barbarian Uber Lilith fight is the longest one in the game. I'm not even really tempted to do it. It feels more like a Dark Souls type of fight. You know, I'll have to definitely respec my character, switch around some aspects. There's probably a couple options for doing it, but I mean, I don't know. I'm not really trying to do a 9-minute fight.
Holy shit, I didn't like that.
Let me know what you think about it compared to people clearing it in like 2 or 3 minutes on other classes. I don't know. So we got Whirlwind Barbarian, and we also got Hammer of the Ancients Barbarian at the top of the end game. Here's all my gear. I'm going to just mouse over it real quick. It's definitely not completely optimized, but at the same time it's enough for me to farm some low stuff, you know, and have just as much of a chance of getting a Shaco as any of us. Here goes my skill tree. It's constantly changing as well as I get different gear, as I, you know, change my intentions with the areas that I'm going to in the game and stuff like that. And I also need to farm up more gold in order to, you know, make different alterations and stuff as well. The most tedious part is really just getting the aspects and the affixes you need on gear, such as plus fury on the helmet, which I still need. I need to reroll this strength into that. That's kind of expensive. You know, just like little changes. I need to get Bold Chieftain's ring to drop so I can imprint that on this, or get a better ring, you know. So it is what it is. Let me know what your favorite Barbarian build is and how you set it up. Do you think Barbarian needs another nerf? Let me know, and everybody have a great day.